Well, this feels weird. We're here chilling. We're just holding down the fort for now. Y'all are stuck with me for a hot minute. It appears Tom is going to be running late to join us, but welcome. We can carry the team for now. Just the few of us. If you're here, thank you. Shout out to everybody in the pregame chat for tonight's pregame. But get up, friends. It is Dork Discourse Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, friends. Hope everyone's been having. It feels like it has already been a really long week. I've been trying to crank on content, y'all. Maybe that's why I actually have been trying to get my head in the game and lock in, because I'm pretty much getting robbed of the last few weeks of the year with the holidays and everything. I kind of always forget about those, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be doing anything after like next week. So that's why it feels like it's been a long week over here, up in here. But for everybody else, I hope you've been off to a great start this week. We got Matthew, Charlie, Alice, Jerry, Sean, Blue Winter, Matthew Tarpley. Oh yes, sorry, I'm name repeating at this point. Emery's. Thank you guys so much for holding it down. In the pregame, Jason Olson. What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the Skeleton Crew pregame. Yes, Charlie, The Conjuring 2, unfortunately, won our community post vote, which means I have no choice. I spoke it into existence and gave the people a choice, and therefore, now I have to. Sal, what's up? Thank you so much for being here. Awesome Las Vegas vlog, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for watching all the vlogs. I know I was up in here begging you guys to please watch them, because they obviously naturally don't perform well on the channel, which is totally fine, because that's not the theme of the channel at all. And frankly, I'm sure people who subscribe to me for the reactions, hey, he's listening in the car. Hey, drive freaking safe. That's how you know there's traffic. Whenever Tom is able to text or tweet, or I see him active on social media, I know he's definitely in like standstill traffic. Drive safe, brother. Yeah. But yes, that those vlogs were a good time, and I didn't disclaim. I guess I cut this out of my Vegas vlog, or I just never filmed it at all. But I had every intention of disclaiming in that vlog that I knew it was gonna look bonkers, that I was just in Prague and then in Vegas like 50 hours later. That's very abnormal for me. That is not indicative or representational at all of my actual life. And shout out to whoever it was in the comments. I think it was Brett who commented that they were confused because I was in Prague and then Vegas and I didn't really disclaim anything. So that's why. That is not indicative of my real life. And I should have disclaimed that that was not normal. And I recognize how very privileged and fun and unusual that was for me to be in Europe and then Vegas, and then I came down. So, ooh, there we go. So yes, the vlogs are the vlogs are complete, but I forgot to disclaim, like, don't get used to that. Don't get it twisted. My life didn't suddenly get really exciting. It was exciting for that month, November actually. It was a wild month, but love the vids. Thank you so much, Mark. Thanks for being here. Cheers, cat and chat. Sabersmith, let's go. Long time no see. Thanks for coming back. Unless you have been here and I'm drawing a blank, so forgive me. Daddy Josh, what's up? Thanks for being here. And shout out to everybody who's been over in Tom's channel supporting him. He's been going live lately, and I've been lurking over there in some of the chats, hanging out with y'all behind the scenes. But yes, welcome. Dang, I forget how to run these things. My throat already hurts. Tom's not here for 2 minutes, and I'm like, I need my co-pilot. I already can't speak. But how is everybody? Welcome. It's Skeleton Crew today. It feels like it's been a hot minute because it technically has been. It's been 8 days instead of the usual 7. But, so that's why I was like, dang, we're in a drought because we have 1 extra day to wait. Alice asks, what did I think of the new Gladiator? I haven't actually watched it. I know I said something in my Vegas vlog that I was excited to be at Caesar's Palace because I was fresh off of watching Gladiator. I still meant the first one, even though it had been like 3 weeks. Somehow, McBots returned. That said, I do want to go see the new Gladiator while it's still in theaters, because I just would like to see what that's like on the big screen. And based on the unfortunate reception, I don't think it's necessarily, not that it's not worthy of a reaction, but I don't think I have to save my reaction for that based on the way I've seen people reflecting on it. But we'll see. Excited for the new Skeleton Crew episode. I know they've set the stage here, so now I've been pondering all week and thinking on it, and I think I have to forfeit my pre-existing theory that Jude Law, Jod, until I hear him pronounce it, which I'm sure he has in interviews, but I try to refrain from. They've been actually stepping up their marketing. Here I am always begging into the ether, give us more. And then whenever they give us more, I don't watch it. I refrain because I don't want to see too much or get too many spoilers or plot points necessarily. I like to go in with a little bit of a clean slate, but until I hear him pronounce his name, I don't know how it fully is said, so forgive me. So for now, I'm just going to call him Jude Law. I have accepted and forfeited my previous theory that he has been faking his Jedi capabilities. Is Skeleton Crew any good? Asks Bleeding Edge Studios. I genuinely do like it a lot more than I thought I would. I know we touched on this last week after the first 2 premiere episodes, and I was honest with you guys and disclaimed that I didn't necessarily go into the show with lowered expectations by any means, but I was willing to accept that I maybe just wouldn't like this or connect to it, or it wouldn't resonate as much as some of the other shows like Mando, Ahsoka, stuff that has not only legacy pre-existing characters, but the fact that this show is seemingly, not that it was targeted to children, but I went in accepting that if this is meant to be more appealing to the younger audience, that is perfectly fine, and I'm willing to accept that if it doesn't click with me. But it clicked, y'all. I freaking really enjoy where this show is going so far, and for all the elements of mystery that they've untapped that I didn't think were going to be such a pivotal role in this. I really thought it was just going to be surface level, these kids unchaperoned wreaking havoc in the galaxy, and Jude Law comes in to be, their guide to get home. But all of the mystery that they have planted, something sinister, whatever dystopian situation is going on their home planet at Aten, how that connects with the New Republic, if the New Republic is aware or going to get involved at all in all of that. They've added so many interesting elements to this, and all of this is to say, to circle back to my original point, I've accepted that Jude Law, his character, actually is a Jedi. I know I was kind of hesitant to believe that from some of the marketing because he seems a little shady. What would he want to gain from partnering up with these kids other than, of course, we know they have a pretty sweet ship. And I think it's safe to assume, I'm gonna stick to this theory, that he has been, this pirate captain that we saw in the opening episode that his crew mutinied against. So there's a lot that he could actually gain from them. He's quite vulnerable right now, and they seemingly have everything he could need. A ship, and a way back potentially to their home planet, which is this mythological pirate's paradise that has eternal treasure. So hopefully, we're gonna scratch some of that surface tonight. But I'm really curious about, frankly, this whole element that they've planted with Aten is like so intriguing, and I didn't think this was going to be part of this show. But it's redeeming in a way because it's giving me something to theorize about. I definitely think Jude Law is a Jedi pretending to be a pirate, says Alice. Yes, and I wouldn't be shocked if, he had to keep that secret, especially obviously having a target on your back for so long following Order 66, but especially if you're in the pirate's life, I can imagine you wouldn't want to necessarily cough up that information. That would make him vulnerable in a way, I feel like, if people knew his true identity, especially if you're trying to make a name for yourself in the underworld of scum and villainy, the underbelly of the galaxy where unsavory things happen. It probably isn't a good look. He would not have been able to rise the ranks as he clearly did to become captain if people were aware that he's actually a good-hearted Jedi. But is he? Somebody pointed out in my comment section, if he is the presumed masked captain that we saw in the first episode, the opening sequence, it's not very Jedi-like. They take everybody prisoner or just kill the whole crew on board the ship that they commandeer. and he throws the captain out the airlock. Somebody made a really good point on my episode 1 reaction, like, that's not very Jedi-like thing to do. Like, it's believable, though. I think it could create a really interesting dynamic complex for his character, internal conflict of he has strayed so far from the Jedi way, and he has obviously, I assume, has had to kill people and whatnot to crawl his way up to the top ranks that he's reached as a captain. But everything about him that we've seen so far is not very Jedi-like. And then somebody else commented that the way he introduces himself to the kids gives off Darth Maul vibes. Like, he's a hermit, he's being kind of mysterious and soft-spoken. Like, there's a lot, hopefully, that we will discover tonight in episode 3 to get a better read on him and his interactions with the kids. But what I'm mainly curious to see is, we already know that the kids have been warned by Shmi to not trust anyone. So I'm curious if they're going to keep their guard up or be inclined to believe him, especially Wim, who it's his life's dream to meet a Jedi and become one. So I'm sure he's just going to release all inhibitions and his guard's going to go completely down and he's going to be like, yep, follow him. So perhaps we're going to see everybody have to kind of steer him back to the mindset of, we can't believe a word out of this guy's mouth or anybody who tries to help us, especially now that they have the backstory that everyone seemingly believes their home planet is non-existent because it has all this mythological treasure. So, you know, that's something that certainly people would want to exploit. So we'll see if they can gain a little bit of street smarts. Nick Gundy, thank you so much. What are y'all talking about this time? We're still chatting Skeleton Crew. I would have liked to talk about Dune a little bit as well, because episode 4 came out this weekend. I'm gonna be so honest, y'all. Unfortunately, I didn't watch it, and I'm a little more sold after episode 3, but I would hope so, because that was the halfway point of this show. It's a 6-episode series, mini-series. So I definitely got more on board. I actually really liked, I'd say episode 3 so far was my favorite of Dune Prophecy on HBO, to quickly pivot so we don't get the shows mixed up. But unfortunately, I still didn't watch this week's episode, and it's not like it was with Penguin, y'all. When Penguin came out, we were sat on the couch like right at 6 p.m. on the dot, waiting for those episodes to drop. Dune, I kind of just watch it as I can, but hopefully after I watch this week's episode, I want to maybe do a review about it when the show is completely done. But for now, I try to chirp about it as much as I can here during Dork Discourse, but I don't have much to chirp about this week, because I didn't watch it. It's gonna take me a while to watch both of those shows. Been preoccupied. Definitely get on Penguin, especially because they're about to clean up. Golden Globe nominations just came out, and rightfully so. I think Colin Farrell and Kristen Milioti both got nominations for their performances, and I think it also got a nomination for something else I'm totally forgetting. Maybe costuming. I'd be shocked if it didn't. Penguin, incredible. Dune Prophecy, I hope I can be saying the same thing come the next 2 episodes, the latter half of the show. Oh god, Stanley's. Did y'all hear that Jeremy Allen White has been cast as Rhoda the Hutt? That can't be real life. But listen, if this is, every tweet I've seen about this, in case y'all haven't heard, Jeremy Allen White, actor famously known for the shows like Shameless, more recently The Bear. There was just a Jeremy Allen White look-alike contest, I believe in Chicago. Anyone who's local, I'm sure you were seeing the buzz about that, but he is allegedly been cast for the Mandalorian film, Mandalorian and Grogu, as Rhoda the Hutt. Stinky. It's a little bit mind-bending. I'm curious to what extent, just how prosthetics, puppeteering, whatever, I still don't fully believe the news, but it's blown up in the Star Wars community. I'm hesitant, as always, to believe. But if this is the case, I'm happy to hear that they're casting an actual human being. Granted, perhaps he's just doing voiceover, but if he somehow is, I don't know, if he's in there, if he's inside a hut costume, that's all we can hope for. But I would much rather see them cast a real human being if he is there in the flesh, in the costume somehow, hidden under layers of prosthetics. But even if he's not, I wouldn't want them to do just some weird... As long as we can get real humans and real puppeteering or multiple people in a hut costume with him at the helm, I'd much rather see that than AI or, you know, something. Not that I don't like CGI necessarily, but I think as long as there's a human touch. If he is, I don't know how it's gonna work, so we'll see. I'm not gonna dwindle too much on that because I still cannot wrap my head around it. Jerry asks, when you went to go to the Sleep Token concert, was that before or after you went to Vegas? That was before. That was early November. Vegas was like 3 days after I got back to the United States, y'all. I was definitely, my biological clock got thrown around, tossed to the wind this last month. So luckily for December, we have a little bit of travel coming up, but it'll be nice to have some downtime coming up for the holidays, for sure. Bracing my, speaking of biological clocks, biological thermostat, I'm gearing up for the East Coast temperatures, which aren't looking fabulous, and I was suffering when I was in Prague, y'all. I was ill-prepared for that. My whole family was roasting me. They were like, you packed for California. But it's because all I have are, like, crop tops. Yeah, I've got like some long sleeve things, but I don't have thick sweaters or turtlenecks or stuff out here because the weather's never cold enough for that out in LA. So I was just severely unprepared. I didn't include this in my vlog, but it literally snowed on my last day. That's faster than I thought it was going to be.
Hello, everybody.
It snowed as I was getting dropped off at the airport. Literally. Ooh, exciting! Don't dox us. Do you want to show the McBots fans? But don't show the address. Yeah. Oh, it's on.
Box gang. We got a new wave of merch just came in. Yes. Apologies I'm late. Shout out Los Angeles traffic. It's popping off today. So shout out to the traffic.
It's all right.
Anyway.
You're not that late. It's only been not even 20 minutes. So
it's been Diesel. That's right. In the flesh.
Family's here, y'all.
I got a little bit more hair, but all about family.
Let's
and I got a little less circumference on the bicep, but all about family.
And still into driving Fast and Furious. Oh yeah, all the McBots fans, rise up. I like Sal's comment here. Hot take. I think that it's a waste of Jeremy Allen White. Easily could have gotten a veteran and talented voice actor. Not keen on this casting. I always agree with that. And this is never any shade to other actors who aren't necessarily, you know, the most well-versed in voiceover acting. What are you doing?
You just play it cool.
No, I
have to turn the lights on.
Oh shoot, I did.
Yeah.
Whoops. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, members. I'm never too keen on an entirely voiceover role going to a non-voiceover, you know, actor per se. Although everybody deserves a chance to give it a try. So that's why it's like I'm always torn. But I agree. If he's not going to physically be in the role at all, and it's just voiceover, it kind of feels a little bit like a popularity pick, which is not to distill his performance down to just that. And he has obviously he has freaking worked his way up, rightfully so, to the top where he is now. Jeremy Allen White, he's doing amazing, he is booked and busy, and he's incredibly talented. He's literally award-winning. The Bear cleans up every year, you know, during Emmys, Golden Globe, whatever you name it. And he's constantly getting awards for his performance.
Is this the hot guy?
Yeah. So this is not to say that he only got it for, like, you know, because he's mainstream or trending right now. That said, though, I agree. I would love to see Jeremy Allen White in Star Wars, but I feel like he could be so he could. I feel like I agree with you, Sal. I would love to see him in a different role, something like more of a scoundrel role or a pirate or something, you know.
Huts are literally gangsters.
But he's not. Is he going to be? I don't know. Nobody knows. Everyone's still trying to collectively wrap their brains around this. Our brains have all gone to mush thinking about this. I don't know if he's going to be in a suit. I don't know if any part of him physically is going to be. Or if he will be.
I would imagine it's just voiceover.
I guess.
I don't think they're going to put him in a Jabba suit.
Actual Jabba,
in
though.
a hut suit.
That was puppeteer. There were like 5 people in
there. It could be. Maybe he is. I don't think that he is going to be in it. He'll
Yeah.
probably do the voice, and you have the actual puppeteers inside the hot suit. Putting it up.
Perhaps.
I would think. That's what I would think. I don't think in that case, like if they're not going to have Pedro in the Mando suit very often, I don't think there's any benefit, because it's not traditional human movement, to having the actual actor in the hut suit. He's going to be squirming around.
I can't believe we're even
or just sitting there shaking rattling his tail, whatever the huts do.
God. Crystal's back. Let's go. Y'all, if you didn't already, after last week, please go freaking subscribe. And I would just love to give a huge shout out to Crystal. Your content as of late, first off, incredibly talented makeup artist, like literally professional, expert. And also, you like opened my mind to all of these Star Wars palettes that I never knew existed. So I've got to get my hands on some of these. You're doing like the best marketing for these Star Wars themed, eyeshadow palettes and whatnot that I've never even heard of. But not only is your work amazing, but I just love how you integrate it into your content, because that's something I always feel like I've personally struggled with. Like, what beyond reactions could I possibly do while still talking about Star Wars? But you do it effortlessly. You just do your passion, your creative, what you love, and just talk about Star Wars. You've morphed them. I'm just fangirling right now because your content as of late has been amazing and is really inspiring me to just, you can do whatever you want to do, find other talents and your other creative outlets and morph it seamlessly and just talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. So y'all go check out Crystal's content. Seriously do yourselves a favor. Truly inspiring me as of late. So yes, we will see. I agree. I think Jeremy Allen White as a scoundrel would be, because he is such a talented actor. All of this is to say, I'm backtracking because I don't want it to sound like I think he only got the popular vote and they picked him as like the popular casting choice because he's trending right now, and has been, frankly, for a really long time. Like the past few years have been his year. He's booked and busy, but I would love to see. He's a great emotional film and television actor.
What else has he been in? Honestly, I don't even know. I saw it, but I don't even know who he is.
You've probably never watched anything he's done. The Bear, that TV show that I watched.
Oh, yeah.
But you've never watched that.
Yeah.
Shameless, actually. He's in the same family with Cal Kestis, y'all. They both got their roots together as the Gallagher brothers. So maybe that had something to do with, not that it had something to do with it, but I forgot about that until I saw somebody else point that out on Twitter. Cal Kestis, oh my god, why am I blanking on his freaking name? Help. Cameron Monaghan. That didn't help at all.
Cameron
Monaghan, yes. They both got their, I think both of those were respectively some of their breakout roles in Shameless, which I've never actually watched, but really want to, because I was introduced to both of them through other projects. But I know Shameless is like a legendary show. So let me know if y'all have watched it. But we will see. I'm heading over to Crystal's channel as soon as this is over. Yes, Alice Queen, you will love it. Thank you. Definitely do yourself a favor. You will not regret it. Somehow we're also talking about Henry Cavill. Yes, Henry Cavill in Star Wars. I know that has been long discussed as well. But I think it's a fine line. And this could be an interesting conversation because, for example, I love what The Force Awakens did. It straight up, they specifically sought to cast newer actors who had yet to make their massive breakthrough for for the roles of
Yep.
Rey and Finn. They literally held a worldwide like open casting call, I'm pretty sure, when that was in development to find those two. So I don't know, I like something about that. You know, for me, Adam Driver, I didn't know about his work. He was still a really good working actor until he got cast as Kylo Ren, but I know him as Kylo Ren.
Yep.
Versus, well, I guess all of this is void because Pedro Pascal, I already knew him from Game of Thrones, and that didn't throw me off necessarily to see him there in The Mandalorian. But like Pedro
What about
now,
Lizzo and Jack Black?
this is where I'm going. Yes, like something about seeing people who are almost too familiar that you just know from elsewhere. Granted, I think there's a scenario totally where you could integrate Jack Black into Star Wars. Like,
They tried it, and it was, oh my god, that's the Jack Black and Lizzo episode. So
yes, it almost becomes more about the actor, the personality, their off-screen presence than the character itself. So, yes, I feel the same way. I personally like to see no-name people in Star Wars. Yes, because then you can create that impression. They are that character. It's not, especially because Star Wars is so, it's not our universe. It's so far removed. It's sci-fi. So it's like, I don't want to see, not that I don't want to see Jack Black. Lifelong Jack Black fan. Love him, but it's something about it takes you out. It removes you. Similarly to, you know, I know this was nowhere near as heavily debated, but it's like when you heard a pop song in The Acolyte end credits, one of the episodes with like lyrics and stuff, and it was like a real song. I saw a lot of discourse about that on Twitter because something about being too tethered to our reality just takes you out of it, and that's not what people want.
Did you watch Skeleton Crew? Because it's literally in suburban America.
Well, do you have an issue with that?
No, I don't personally have an issue. I'm just saying that's a prime example of it. Literally looks like you're in suburbia of the United States of America in Skeleton Crew.
I think that's a
modern houses, cul-de-sacs, kids riding school buses.
Modern houses. All their houses were freaking sweet. They're a little better than modern.
Nice. They were nice.
They're living in
modern
luxury.
Architecture is what I meant, not modern day. But it's like literally like suburban United States of America is where is At-Atten. So I mean, it's the most Earth-like looking Star Wars thing I think we've ever gotten in terms of actual infrastructure.
Yes, I would agree. The lay of the land, the landscape, the setting.
You literally had his dad going to work a 9 to 5, and then.
But I think the saving grace of that now, that doesn't bother me at all to begin with, and I was excited about the suburbia aspects because I think it just heightens the relatability that you have with these kids, and so much of my enjoyment of this show is in that connection and the nostalgia, and you can really see yourself and your childlike, you know, passion for Star Wars, admiration for the Jedi. You see that reflected in them, so you just feel so connected to your own, you know, first love of Star Wars being at that age. So,
and I don't have a problem with it, by the way. I'm just saying that on the topic of things that look like our world in Star Wars, At-Atten is literally suburbia USA.
What they've done and introduced now to kind of make it a little different than that. It's not just a regular neighborhood. It's not just a regular planet. Now there's something more sinister going on there. They've added this seemingly dystopian element. Let me know, y'all, if you are in agreement that it's something malicious, or, you know, we were debating what it could possibly be, but it can't. I don't think it's good. And I saw somebody theorizing about this on Twitter today. The more people are reading into At-Atten and, you know, the conspiracies, all of us theorizing about what the situation could be. I saw somebody question, you know, we learned that Wim's mom is out of the picture, but they don't say how or why. They leave it vague. It's implied perhaps that she might have passed away, but you know that she was in the picture. Because he asks for his dad to read to him,
like she's taken away in a prison, concentration not a concentration camp.
Why does your brain always go to these?
What's the other?
Just
what's the different
detained, imprisoned.
A
Confinement, solitary confinement.
No, there's a specific word, not as drastic as concentration camp, but
Why do you think of the most diabolical thing?
internment camp, work camp.
Okay.
But not like a traditional
This
prison.
stream's gonna get freaking flagged now.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Can't just like concentrate.
Go look at a reaction to Schindler's List on YouTube. Search right now, and there's going to be videos all over the place. People reacting to that movie. So,
Stanley's agrees. Internment camp. Yes, it could potentially.
Yeah, like I don't think that they are just taking the citizens and executing them.
No, they're hiding them.
Taking them and hiding them, using them for labor, enslavement.
Yeah, so like from the surface level,
if they handpick these higher people of society to run the society behind the scenes, and they're the ones like the hidden government that controls.
Oh, so his mom's maybe in on everything,
maybe,
and she had to be removed in order to fully lock in because she's orchestrating things. She's part of the higher up council of whoever is governing this place. Sal, thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the episode, and we'll catch you later. It is supposed to look like suburbia, but I think it's a conspiracy, says Emery's. Crystal, you're onto something. Maybe there are mines. Maybe they actually know about all of their untapped treasure and wealth, and they're freaking looking for it too. So yeah, anyone who fails their assessment test, I still am clinging to this, that when Fern meets Wim, they're waiting for their fate in detention. She's joking with him, the last kid who failed his test. They took him down to the basement and nobody ever saw him again.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's like some innocent foreshadowing of what actually is afoot.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
The actual...
They're totally setting it up. That they are keeping this planet hidden to benefit the rich, the controlling power of the governments. They can harvest the treasure resources, but they need some type of labor force to do it. So they have the society running in auto mode, and everybody working and working and working. But then for the people who don't conform, there's a risk of destruction of the system. So they take them and put them to work and remove them from the society.
Like, this is turning into a YA dystopia. It is very curious and odd that we haven't seen Atten from space yet. Yes, all of this leads into further thickening of the conflict of, well, how the frick are they going to get back? None of these kids know. And it's clearly not visible to the naked eye.
I mean, we know that cloaking devices exist in this galaxy of Star Wars. So
yeah,
if they have a planetary-wide orbital cloaking device of some kind, that would at least hide the visuals. It's not going to hide the gravitational signature, which we know that is in the records from Attack of the Clones. Yoda literally throws a marble onto a stick, and then it brings up the gravitational field and star map of the entire galaxy. So
you're getting sciencey.
If you do that same analysis, a cloaking device wouldn't be good enough, because you'd still see some type of gravitational signature, and then he would jump out of hyperspace, and then he would show up, and you'd be like, okay, there's nothing here, but we are orbiting something, so something has to be there, but we just can't see it, which is very, very interesting. So maybe they'll go the route of like, oh, the hyperspace lane is blocked or destroyed or rated. Like, we know that hyperspace lanes are treated like freeways where they can be blocked off, or you can't use them, or they're blockaded.
Like that LA traffic.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like the 405 or the 110 in Los Angeles, where you can't use it and you got to go around, or you can't access a certain part of the city. They treat it the same way. So it could just be, oh, that hyperspace lane was destroyed, but really it was self-destructed by this governing body to isolate the planet, and they perhaps have this cloaking device around the planet. Perhaps, maybe. But maybe they don't need it. But they do see show those red dots in the sky. That's like a grid pattern.
Their barrier.
So my initial thought was that it was going to be like the Hunger Games, and the ship was going to go, and then it was gonna hit like
The
an actual like ceiling of some kind. I was like,
yeah.
oh wow, that looks like Hunger Games after Katniss shoots the arrow into the roof and then it just
Yes.
completely
It's all a
falls apart.
facade.
Yeah, but obviously it
Whoa.
wasn't that because they made their way off the planet. So
But it did automatically launch into hyperspace when they broke out. So there
true.
is some hyperspace
Yeah,
access.
true.
Now the question is, did the kids program that, or did it automatically just do that, or was it pre? I
Well, we
don't
know. So here's a crazy theory. We know that the people on At-Aten are trapped in the Republic era,
Yes.
right? They've made that clear with the Republic credits, and they presumably the kids think the Jedi are all still alive and happy, hunky dory. Probably gonna get that hard revelation at some point.
That's gonna be rough.
But what if? What if? What if?
I'm listening.
What if? When Lord Tyrannus, aka Count Dooku, wiped Kamino from the Jedi archives, what if he wiped At-Aten as well for some purpose, which explains why it's been gone from all historical relevance, which is what happened to Kamino in Attack of the Clones, or right after the Phantom Menace, but they discover it 10 years later in Attack of the Clones. What if At-Aten suffered the same fate as Kamino, except instead of hiding the clone army, Dooku and Sidious were trying to hide something else on At-Aten? And maybe At-Aten all ties into somehow Palpatine returned, and maybe it's the spark plug for how he can actually come back that we don't know about.
Sheesh.
Is that out there?
I mean, listen.
No Mace reference, but Mace maybe they kept Mace's body on that.
God. Yeah, we went from last week
Palpatine
Mace Windu is the
yeah.
evil governor of this whole planet to now it's Sheevan, Count Dooku. Now the thing though about that is whatever is happening here on At-Aten is clearly more high stakes or worthy of being hit because once they located it, Kamino was easily found. At-Aten seemingly
Yoda
is like
looking at the gravity map.
Yeah.
Or the youngling looking at the gravity map with Yoda. But they only thought about it because Obi-Wan was saying, "Where is this planet?" From Dex. So they got to go to Dex's diner and pay him a visit.
Is this how we're finally going to get Dex back?
Dex knows all the planets in the world.
Please.
So.
Oh my god. Do you think we will go to any other familiar planets in this show?
But these kids are going to spark people looking for At-Aten, just like Obi-Wan and Dex sparked, okay, let's look for this Kamino planet. Where is it? Like, if Dooku could just erase it from galactic history like that, surely he could do it again for At-Aten for some other purpose. And if it is like a wealth mine, maybe that's how the Empire was secretly funded in some way. And that's why Palpatine and Dooku decided to hide it, so that it was a unobstructed planet of wealth and resources so that they could fund their devious behaviors. Matthew nails it. Dooku's just one big planet eraser, isn't he? He might be. Maybe he is. Maybe he erased this one. And it's gonna turn out that this planet does have a direct tie back to Palpatine and Dooku manipulation to keep it secret from the galaxy.
I think it might. I don't think you're too far-fetched, especially because I've accepted. I was telling the chat that I fully have subscribed and believe Jude Law's character is a Jedi and he's not just faking it. I don't think that's too far-fetched, and it could bring full circle. He must, if he is a Jedi, or from that time period, and if this all has something to do with, as you're saying, Days of the Republic when Dooku and Sheev were doing all their mischievous business, he could have some underlying knowledge, perhaps, beyond just wanting to exploit these kids to go uncover the treasure. But you made a good point that I'm forgetting about, that he's not the only one now. They've kind of ripped the Band-Aid by planting the seed in raising the alarm bells for everybody else. This place must be real if these kids are claiming to be from there. So even if they're able to get out, we know that, I'm assuming, his ex-crew, led by Brutus, now the Wolfman, who has imprisoned them, they're going to be on their tail. They're not the only ones now, so it's kind of going to be like a drag race to get back. I think everybody's going to be trying to... They have a target on their backs now of trying to get back. And if they can, they're not going to be the only ones.
But it's interesting because if that is true, something, whatever Palpatine and Dooku decided, yes, you're the governing body of this, that thing is still alive, even though the Republic fell and the Empire fell. Like, that governing body that was put in place, if this theory is true, by the Sith, that is still happening. They're still in charge. So now, who are they answering to? Is this a part of the contingent plan of the Shadow Council and the emerging First Order and all of that?
It's Snoke.
Is that, well, yeah. Like, is it, did it
Snoke
just pass
is
down?
running.
Like, I mean, Exegol was still fondled and fondled's probably not the right word there, but Exegol was adopted after Palpatine died in Return of the Jedi, and the Sith acolytes and worshippers and followers took Exegol and kept maintaining it and building the fleet. What if the same thing happened with, as someone said earlier, or Gregor Castro said, AT-AT is Dooku Swiss Bank? Yeah, if that's the finances, then who's to say the CFO of the Empire after Palpatine died didn't say, okay, yeah, here's the secret Swiss bank, AT-AT, and hey, whatever the Imperial replacement's going to be, First Order, make sure you keep that in check. I mean, something's got to fund a giant planet-sized Death Star Starkiller base.
This is true.
And a fleet of 10,000 ships when you've lost the access to the known galactic banks. I mean, Padme's taxes certainly aren't going to AT-AT, Swiss Army Bank. Padme's taxes and everybody else's taxes. Well, Padme doesn't pay taxes, but everybody who does pay taxes, like a proper galactic citizen, all of those tax funds are going to go straight in the Imperial Bank's pocket for accounting purposes. But you have
this always turn
this
into
resource, this literally physical resource planet, that's going to be kept in secret accounting for secret projects.
We always get into taxes, folks. Tom's the Star Wars IRS up in here. I just want to acknowledge Sean's comment from earlier that cracked me up in reference to Count Dooku just erasing all these other planets off the map and from the archive memories. You mean Count Troll Alt Delete? I think that's freaking hysterical. This means the sequels make sense, says Ephraim's. Snoke is behind all of this now, y'all. This is about to be my headcanon. I'm subscribing to this. And I know I said it originally in my Mace Windu's thrown on there from last week. If you know, you know. Tom went off on a probably more out there theory about this is Mace's revenge and he's secretly governing this whole place.
Yes, Mace has kept these people hostage, unbeknownst to them, since the end of the Clone Wars.
He's pulling a WandaVision.
That was the theory last week?
Is that what we
were talking about last week? Okay. Switch that to The Rock is controlling them all on AT-AT. So The Rock, they're going to bring The Rock in episode 3. The opening shot of the episode tonight is going to be The Rock sitting on a throne at the throne room of AT-AT, and the kid's mom is going to be his servant.
Oh.
And The Rock will be the first iteration of Snoke.
Yeah, we strayed far to go from The Rock to Snoke as we know him. Yeah, obviously this is a bit of a joke poll for this evening, but I couldn't help myself because actually I'd never considered some of this, and I actually either I'm spending too much time with you.
Considering Mace Windu?
No.
Or considering the stuff we were talking about tonight, I think is legit. It makes sense. They've set up the 2 first episodes where there's this hidden planet that no one knows about. What's the other planet we know like that? Camino. So yeah, in this case, clearly some ship got to it in the past and crash landed, But that could have been from before it was isolated from the rest of the galaxy.
True.
So if they've kept this planet hidden, how are they going to do that? Oh, in the controlling body of the government, you wipe it from the archives, and then bang, it's ripping the page out of the history book, and no one knows about it. So, they're tying it together, and they're tying it together with the Republic, and they're saying, oh, it's lost treasure. So if this is like the secret Imperial First Order, like backup financial hub, it makes totally sense. And to control finances of an entire planet, to harvest the natural resources, you've got to have a society that keeps the whole cog in the machine afloat. And then you also have a bunch of slaved, imprisoned workers to actually go down there into the mines and dig up the resources.
Do you think there's any correlation between AT-AT AT-AT?
No.
No, not at all.
No.
I just realized that looking at the...
Well...
I was like, did I spell that right?
No. No.
It's a joke.
No. Unless this has ties to Kamino. We know the Kaminoans were on other planets. So maybe they found the other Kaminoan planets, but then just wiped out all the Kaminoans on this planet, or they're enslaved. And then that would explain why the Kaminoans came up with the name ATTE in the Clone Wars for the first iteration of the tank. Or ATRT.
That was
because they were manufactured on AT-AT.
Listen, y'all.
Honestly, that's I'm sold now. I'm sold. This is not just a natural resource planet where there's just unlimited wealth that they can fund their operations, but they actually are building machines and tanks and ships and weapons. Like, this could be a treasure trove planet and a Imperial First Order weapons ship manufacturing planet. We know that his dad, I don't remember any of the kids' names, by the way, except for Neil. The main kid, the main kid's dad is like some type of engineer, right?
I think so, yeah. And
they say one of the best paths to go down in school if you pass your test is engineering.
Shoot.
What are they engineering? Not fancy new infrastructure, because it's been the same in suburbia for 60 years.
Y'all, keep me in check. Have I been spending too much time with him, or is this actually plausible? Like, I believe this could be real.
I mean, that's like in plain sight. All of the Republic tanks and the Imperial tanks have AT in the front. ATTE, ATRT, ATST, ATAT. AT.
Did we just turn a joke into an actual plausible theory?
All the ATs are made on AT-ATN in secrecy, using the wealth of the planet. It makes sense.
This might not be too far-fetched, y'all.
I think it makes sense.
You do have to wonder.
And Dooku and Palpatine would want to keep the Imperial manufacturing plant of the heavy lift armored tank vehicles of their military hidden and away from where they could be attacked by separatists, or rebels, or Ewoks. You want to keep them away.
I mean, yeah, it coincides with the same theme that we saw in the Bad Batch when it comes to Palpatine's efforts to reclone himself. All of that, the cloning facilities, all of his science facilities were all incredibly not on isolated planets, but seemingly impossible to track down and find. Who's to say the same can't be true of, and he probably got his act together after the destruction of, one of his more major operations in the Bad Batch. Who's to say he didn't get his act together and decide, okay, best course of action is I need a bunch of employees.
No.
But how do I do this secretly? How do I recruit secretly? And
you have a self-sustaining society.
Just hold this planet
run by robots. Bunch of bots running it.
Yeah, there's all robots.
And the robots tell the humans what to do, and the humans do it. And then the Empire, now First Order, has their weapons and ships and everything made for them in total isolation.
Guys, we cracked the code. We
yes,
cracked them.
Stanley's, you are calling out the literal here, where AT stands for all-terrain, which, yes, is true. However, we don't know that the AT in At-Atten also doesn't stand for all-terrain. And it's just a clever play on words, just like we actual humans do. We do that clever play on words where we name things in ways that can mean multiple things with acronyms and literal, but you just tie it together. Like if we want to create a title for something, but we want the acronym to be something intentional, then we tweak the words of what the title is so that the acronym actually is what we want it to be. So, yes, AT does stand for all-terrain, but they could have done that just to have the first two letters be the same two letters from the planet that they were manufactured on. So they came up with all-terrain.
New poll. Are Kent and Tom losing it?
Sheev Dooku is winning that poll there.
Listen.
And Mace Windu is in second.
Now more than ever, I believe this
is
could...
Mace Windu Wim's mom?
No. God. Listen. We strayed, but we stayed within the realm of somewhat actual possibility. Like, I believe...
Wim's mom is Mace Windu?
No, I believe. That's where I'm drawing the line.
Oh.
Everything else that we just spoke about...
What about The Rock?
Could be valid.
Is The Rock valid?
No.
Is The Rock Wim's mom?
Rock equals first Snoke copy. No. We are in a new zip code. Yeah, that went a little bit off the rails, but that's how you know, that's when you know we're cooking. Can you smell what Cat and Tom are cooking? Speaking of The Rock, somebody said, can you smell what Snoke is cooking? Listen, I believe now more than ever that this could have something to do. This could all correlate, and I think it can be backed up by the fact that we have a Jedi character. Because I'm inclined to sometimes question, okay, what's the purpose of a Jedi showing up in this story?
He knows of Palpatine and Dooku's hiding of this planet, and he's secretly been looking for it, which is why he turned pirate.
I'm in tears.
Just like Obi-Wan found out that they hid Kamino, and the Jedi Council found out about that. Who's to say that they haven't said, we think there's probably some other planets that have been hidden. And we're talking about a period now where this is like, 30, 25, another 5, 30, like 35, 40 years after when the ATTEs would have been created for the Clone Wars. Maybe in 50 years. So like At-Atten could have been pumping out Republic equipment and Imperial equipment 50 years from where we are now in the timeline. So that's plenty of time for rumors to spread, information to leak, sleuths to go sleuthing in Imperial documents, cyber hackers, whoever cyber criminals are out there, hacking Imperial infrastructure, looking to dig up dirt and facilities and heist jobs. And I mean, Andor is the heist show where they're stealing Imperial secrets left and right. So who's to say that Mr. Jude Law here could be the first Jedi who gets whim of this and says, oh, I can go stop this. Or if he's a dark Jedi, oh, there's a planet with a self-sustained society that has a ton of riches and equipment. Oh, what if I go claim that for myself and take the throne from the Rock, and then bang, I've got this whole wealth and unlimited resources and planet and an army at my hand where I can go do whatever I want. You
were so close. You were on track.
Imagine Malakos instead of the army of trying to control the Night Sisters. Now you have Malakos Jude Law, who's going to go take over At-Atten, and he's got a whole army of humans that are just conditioned over generations to listen to the will of whatever the controlling body is of that planet. Maybe.
Alice put it perfectly. She's like, I looked away for 2 minutes of what the frick are we even talking about? Nick Gundy is totally lost. Yes, if you are either just tuning in or tuned in earlier and then dipped for a little bit and have returned, we spiraled. This, in typical fashion for Dork Discourse, just escalated into far more than I thought we were going to be theorizing about tonight. But I am gonna, for once,
It's a great theory.
stick by this. I usually am the first to be real and call you out and be like, no, you're doing what you always do, which is straying too far from the path. This is not the way, and you're just setting yourself up for disappointment because everything that your brain is able to concoct is just so far-fetched that it's nowhere near what we
My
actually
Grogu
have.
theory was near perfection.
Your Grogu theory was
That
really
was
good.
so good.
Yes, it
And
was.
if that happened, that would have been surprising, epic, and revolutionary for the backstory of Grogu and Palpatine and tying them all together. And would have the perfect tie-in for a Mandalorian and Grogu movie where they come back together and meet face to face. And Grogu avenges what his daddy Yoda couldn't do and kill Palpatine.
Well,
That's a little that okay, made that last part up. But like yeah, I'm connecting dots here.
major.
Connecting dot with what the story has given us.
It's like,
And so like the Grogu story was okay, we're not going to connect any of the dots we've laid out. We're just going to take you on a totally new thread. We're not connecting any dots yet, which is not what anyone was expecting when we got how did Grogu leave the Jedi Temple?
Mhm.
There's all these theories based on what we know, but they said, no, you actually don't know anything yet. We're going to take you on a complete tangent, and we have yet to show you where that ends up. So, like, that's fine.
yeah,
That's fine. I mean,
well,
him getting tied back in with Naboo is pretty cool.
your
So,
Grogu theory might have fallen through, but this one might. We'll
I mean,
see.
maybe.
We will
You
see.
came up with the AT-AT part.
Okay,
At
that
first,
was-
I was like,
okay.
all right, that's like
All of this is to
hilariously
say,
ridiculous.
this all started a
But
little
then
bit as a
thinking about
joke.
it's like, actually, the math adds up there.
Today was a good
That's all it
brain
adds up.
exercise of how can you connect Skeleton Crew to Dex's Diner. And I think we successfully brought some of it full circle.
True.
Needless to say,
Shout out Dex.
I know anyone who maybe is tuning in, has no idea what we're talking about, is questioning how we got down this rabbit hole, and is looking at what the frick is our poll. I know it was very jokey, but all of this, of course, is to say we do not take this show as a joke. We are very intrigued and invested in this show, and I think if anything, this goes to show that this is such an unexpected but pleasant surprise that we are so entrenched in these theories, going down all these crazy rabbit holes that this could be connected to, you know, Palpatine or Dooku or Snoke or, you know, the First Order, you know, the sequels. I think that's all within the realm of
Every other
possibility.
show has brought
Connections
those together.
yeah.
So
But T-minus 2 minutes until the episode, folks.
Yes.
So on that wild
Yes.
note, we're gonna get back to reality. We're gonna reset her, and we're gonna go watch. So thank you guys so much for pre-gaming with
No.
us. This was so off the rails.
no, it's great.
This was so bonkers. But needless to say, thank you for joining and entertaining our tangents and wild trains of thought. We really strayed far from where we started this stream in our ideas and our prophesizing. But I will see you guys in my reaction. Tom is real quick opening up some merch.
For the McBots fans,
Nick Gundy says,
give a real live reveal here.
I will remedy that, Nick Gundy. Don't worry. Are you talking about in my descriptions of my videos? If that's the case, I can definitely remedy that. Let's go! Let's get it,
Hat?
y'all. That actually looks sick.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a little tight.
That's real nice.
It's a little tight.
Merch unboxing real quick.
Yes. So if anybody who's not aware, my brother and I have a gaming channel called McBots.
Bye, Crystal!
Here's a hat that we just got in. Looks pretty nice.
Looks epic.
Looks nice.
Did you copy me and get the exact same sweatshirt?
No, I got the one with the hood.
Ah.
Same color.
In the video descriptions. Oh my gosh, Nick, I will totally change that. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna do
And
that tonight. I swear.
a hoodie.
Let's get it.
So if you like gaming, not good gaming, but entertaining gaming, you check out McBots. Kat gets her game on with us, so
Occasionally. I lurk in the
Crystal goes
chat.
so sick. Thanks, Crystal. Appreciate it. Yeah, Charlie, I know you ordered the water bottle. Daddy Josh Bird Church ordered some stuff. So shout out to you guys who've already
Oh, it's so exciting.
got some stuff.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Let's effing go, says Sean. Agreed.
Yep.
And on that note, the hour is 6/9 p.m. or wherever you are. I can only account for the US, but on that note, we're gonna go. Episode should be out. So thank you guys so much for watching, ringing in episode 3 with us this evening. We appreciate you tuning in, and we hope you have a great rest of your day, night, morning, evening, 3 a.m., wherever you may be. Enjoy episode 3. I'll see you guys in my reaction. But until then, we'll see you guys again very, very soon. Let's
Enjoy the episode, everybody.
see if a single smidgen of our theories comes true. We'll find out.
We shall see. We shall see.
Bye, guys.